cookie real chatterbox. You understand what I say? Well, today we got another controversy for sure not today. You understand where I come from? I wonder if you remember the last video that I made about the importation of the cabbage to Jamaica. Alright? I don't know if you've been keeping up, but you remember what that guy said about there was only one shipment that they passed through, and he can't tell you about the future, what's gonna happen. Them man know exactly what was gonna happen, but them keeping the Jamaican people them blind to the thing. We wanna listen to this first before we get into this piece. Yeah, listen to this.
The issue that has come up is one import that we've had. And it was raised, and it was under the trade arrangements, under the act that was passed and shepherded by you through Parliament. We were obliged to consider it, and we considered it. It was for them. It met the requirement.
So, confirmation that Jamaica has begun importing cannabis. The industry minister also refused to rule out any future imports of cannabis into Jamaica.
This is a one-off approval
request that we've had.
And is it expected that additional requests and approval will follow?
One of the things that I tend not to do with a future member is to predict it. I can't say what will come.
Opposition spokesman on industry, Anthony Hilton, was
family. They hear that. They hear the man say him can't predict the future. So if this is something that you are dealing with, this is something that you put through Parliament already, that means you must know exactly what is going on. Listen to this now.
By some of its members. When contacted, JTA President Losania Harrison said she was unaware that educators across several parishes were staging a sick-out. She also refused to comment on the matter.
And this is what I'm happy about as well, families. They're starting to do a lot of protests in Jamaica. The teacher them start to wake up now. The teacher them start to wake up now. Everybody look like them a jump out of like a deep sleep. You understand me? I say road protesting, water protesting. This is what we need in Jamaica. The people them voice need to be heard. You understand me? Let's get back to the story.
In a TVJ News follow-up, there has been widespread condemnation, particularly among stakeholders in the ganja industry, amid confirmation that Jamaica imported the product from Canada. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce is set to respond at a press briefing scheduled for later. We have more in this report.
Based on the terms of the Dangerous Drugs, Cannabis Import, Export, Transit and Transshipment Regulations 2022, ganja importation is here to stay.
Did you hear that? Did you hear exactly what they said just now, family? It is here to stay. So it's not only one shipment. It's not only one shipment at all. It's here to stay. So our little Jamaican farmer them is going to be struggling right now. They're going to be struggling because they can't contest with the big boys them. Them can't contest with the big boys them. I hear about this one that was working in that man in Canada, that big, what kind of job he mean again? I think he was a liar or something like that. Him quit him whole job and buy up one body of land of Jamaica as well, you know. Why? You understand where I come from? But listen.
Industry players, particularly small farmers, are incensed.
Totally outrageous and totally contradictory in terms of what the CLA board should be doing and what the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture should be doing. In the first place, we have tried. It was our intention at the board level to ship herb or to use Canada as an transshipment point to get Jamaican herb into other places in the world. So it's very surprising now to Iman that Jamaican, that the ministry and the board would give license to individuals to import herb.
Under the regulations, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, says it is empowered to permit the importation, exportation, and transshipment of ganja in quantities determined by the authority. In a release last week, it said each authorization issued to a licensee permits a single consignment as required by the Single Convention on Narcotics Drugs 1961, to which Jamaica has acceded. A single authorization does not permit unlimited import of cannabis, but rather a single consignment. To date, the CLA says it has approved 224 export authorizations for ganja.
See, family? You see what I go and do? So keep the poor poor. This is what it is, you know. Keep the poor poor. All them body I think, look, 224 export authorization. I wonder who and what companies are having this thing supplied to them so they can import cabbage to Jamaica or in Jamaica. I wonder who it is. I wonder what companies they are. I wonder whose money is funding these things. This is what we have to talk about, family. Listen.
And 4 authorizations for the import of ganja. The CLA insists the regulations were developed in consultation with industry players. Sandy.
So sad. So sad for the Jamaican people, and blessed me, I tell you God Almighty truth. I really cut up about it. What about all them little farmers, yeah? Them are going to face it, you know, man. The little farmers, them are going to face it. You understand me? I say, like the man, them coming, like them want to drown out the Jamaican weed production. They want to drown out the production of Jamaica high grade. Bringing in synthetic, that's what I have to call it, you know. Synthetic grade into the country. I'm telling you, you know, look in the following years to come, yeah, Jamaican people is going to be having so much difficulties. You understand me? I say, with mental illness, sickness. The doctors are going to be overwhelmed with people. You know what's in the UK, you know much people, you know much young people in the UK that is suffering from mental disturb because of smoking these imported grades from other countries. Do you know? I wonder if the Prime Minister really did his research into what's really going on in the other countries pertaining to these camouflage weed that they're selling to them, they're selling to the youths them. Jamaica don't use chemical and their things, you know. This is what I'm saying, you know. It's only pure. Come pure from the earth, the man just water them thing and get it out there. But you know much chemical them put on these things to get them grow fast, quick. Within three months, things ready. At least Jamaica 1 year. Boy. Family. I'm stress out. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe the thing. As I say, comment in the comment section, we talk about this. Dr. Cookie out again. Ja.